lying and perjury and stealing is. But when the judge says, I give it to you for context, what was really going on here in this case, and we didn't know it until we got to the charge to the jury, was that the judge was signaling to the jury, Michael Cohen, as a matter of law, is aiding and abetting and complicit with Donald Trump in a federal election law violation, which, even though I only allowed it for credibility, the truth is he's being charged with aiding and abetting Trump. And so this is a very easy hurdle for the jury to say, yeah, Pecker and Cohen got slammed for it. Should Donald Trump be slammed for it? And plus the issue of not being able to bring in Brad Smith, the issue of not having an adverse charge for a missing witness, that missing witness being the chief financial officer, Alan Weisenberg, who could talk about the fact that as it related to vouchers, invoices, and checks, Donald Cohen had nothing to do with it. There was no testimony about that at all in the transcript. And the one thing that the jurors asked about that meeting at Trump Tower, Donald Trump said 3 times, I don't pay for stories. I don't pay for stories. And the defense made it very clear that this catch and kill wasn't in any of the 3 cases that the prosecution was alleging. A lot of this was smoke and mirrors. I can understand that if a jury makes a decision this quickly, that maybe they bought into the smoke and mirrors. It's very disconcerting at this point.
Our producers inside say that the jury is back in the room, that Judge Merchan is back on the bench. And so we are looking now, it looks like we have some of the verdicts coming in. It is quickly coming in here. From inside, we are starting to hear that there are guilty. There are guilty verdicts from our producer inside. We're hearing guilty on 1 through 5. 1 through 12, we have now 13, 14 guilty. 15 guilty. You may hear there are a split of folks here who have been protesting on both sides of this case. Some cheers, some boos, as we are now getting the information from the jury. We're up to 18 counts, 19 guilty. Remember, we have 34 here, 20 guilty. And again, these counts were very similar, what they were looking at. It was different occurrences, essentially, of the same crime, a misdemeanor that was elevated by being linked to a felony, to an underlying crime. We are now 24 counts in, all guilty from inside. This is what we are hearing from our producers, up to 26 guilty. Now, remember, each of these counts could maximum have 4 years in jail. President Trump would be considered a first-time offender. These are non-violent crimes. So it seems that it is unlikely the judge would sentence him to prison, but we are now up to 31 counts guilty out of 34. 32 guilty, also coming in from inside the courtroom. Our producers now saying 33 and 34. They're saying guilty on all 34 charges. That is where we are at. The jurors, it looks like we're going to leave for the day. Suddenly we get this verdict. It is 34 guilty counts on all of this. I want to bring in Andy McCarthy, who's here with me, Judge Deneen as well, and Trey Gowdy. Andy, where we go from here, obviously there will automatically be an appeal from this Trump team as quickly as possible. There's the legal issue of sentencing to come. That's going to take maybe months to get to a pretrial report on this, and then to a sentencing by the judge. And he reminded the jurors he's the one who decides. But we have the reality now of a former president for the first time being convicted on 34 criminal counts, guilty on all of these counts. Whatever conflict or confusion or questions the jury had, they got that information back to them this morning. And by the end of day 2 of deliberations, we're at 34 guilty counts for the former president of the United States of America.
It's a historic trial of a former president of the United States by his partisan adversaries. Whatever you think of the results, it's inconceivable in New York that anyone else